Hangout is on. Whoa, that was easy to tell that time because there was a giant buzzing noise in my ear as soon as it started. Hey, everybody.
Is it still there?
It's me. No, it left. The buzzing. Oh, no, it's back.
It's. Do I sound okay? Because I sounded like I was in a tunnel on the last episode.
You sound okay, but I hear this hum.
Why is that on? I don't.
It's when you talk.
It's only when I talk?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up, Sean?
Okay.
How you doing, man?
I'm all right. How are you?
Sean Watch 2016.
Sean Watch 2016.
What's the story behind that?
It's just a Finn Watch joke. I don't know. People wanted to know where I was, and now you can do a post that says, "Did he show up?" Yes.
Did you? We don't want to talk about where you were, right? We don't need.
No, I mean it's no big deal. I had a family deal. I had to unexpectedly go to another place and deal with a bunch of stuff, and it's all good. I'm fine. It's just life stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Funeral stuff. So nothing. Whatever. It's all the usual stuff, you know. Lived a nice life. It wasn't totally. You know, it's not like 20-year-old died or something. So anyway, I don't know. It's just I'm exhausted, but it's all good.
Yeah.
In the big picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it sucks.
Yep.
So I'm sorry for that. But
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who tweeted at me. I was feeling self-conscious, and I was like, nobody's going to care that I'm gone, and Geno's going to get as many views as he would if I was there.
Everyone.
And I don't know if that's true because I am still nervous, so I didn't check the viewers. But people did tweet at me and say, I hope you're all right, missed you. So I thank you guys for that. That means a lot, actually. So thank you.
So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We did the show,
mm-hmm.
and it's so people did miss you. They were like, "Where's Sean?"
You're building up to tell me that you like broke a record for most viewers ever, aren't you?
Well, here's the thing. Right? So she
son of a bitch.
No, this is what it is though. It's like we have high traffic numbers. What we do is we put the YouTube and the link sets, as you know, so it shows up in every single post on Cage Side, so that people can click on it, and then it drives our viewers up. But so we usually have like 5,000 viewers by the time stuff's said and done. Mm-hmm. And it's like after a week and a whole weekend of being in link sets. Well, I did the show with her, like what, 2 days ago?
Monday, yes.
It was at like 4,400 viewers the last time I looked. Within like a day. 2 days, I'm like, holy shit. And then there's more comments than usual, and I was like, I don't know, man. And then they're like, she's a draw.
I'm fired.
Oh, no. Sean's gone.
I'm fired. Plus, as part of that, Geno made me teach him how to like set up the Hangouts too. So I'm totally expendable now.
Now I know the technology, and I've got a draw who likes doing the show.
Fuck.
So you're out, Sean.
All right. See you, everybody. It's nice knowing you.
No, what's probably going to happen is I'm probably just going to do a second show, and maybe she'll be the full-time co-host, because she was really fun and I think people liked her. So actually, how about this? In the comments, everyone who's listening, let us know. Let me know if you thought she was cool, if you dug her, if you want her to come back, if you wanted me to do more shows with her, or even let me know if there's other people you think, like people we've had on in the past. Like, do you want to see me do another show with Roth? Do you want to see me do another show with Celia Bloom? Do you want to see me do another show with Canaanite? Do you want to see me do another show with someone else, with Tanya even, who did the show with us the once? And that was a really good show that was successful. So tell me who you think we should do shows with, and then we'll try to make that work.
I'm just listening to you cheat on me in front of my face. That's all. Sorry.
Cheating on you in front of your face. That's not what's happening, Sean.
Yep. All right. Let me know who you want me to do a second show with.
Sean's no longer enough for me.
Sean show, then come to my new, better show that I'm gonna have.
Sean's no longer enough for me. No, what it is Sean's not gay for me anymore. That's the problem. I had to do a show with someone who was gay, and it made me really happy. So there you go. Let's talk about wrestling, dude.
Yeah, you're the one who was in the mood to talk about wrestling. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, dude. What should we talk about? Did you watch Raw?
I watched like the last hour of it or something, and then I've seen like YouTube clips and things. So I think I have an idea of what went on, but I did not watch the full 3-hour extravaganza.
Did you see the Charlotte segment?
I did. I wrote that up for the site. You don't pay attention to that.
Oh, you did?
Jesus Christ.
You were in the
Getting
kitchen.
hose. John, were you around on Monday? Yeah, I was working.
You were in the offices asking me if we should write it up, and I'm like, yeah, do it. And then I'm here going, hey, were you around for that? Or
did you see it? That was something, huh?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. What I have to deal with.
Not
Good luck, Megan. Enjoy him. This is what you have to look forward to.
Oh, we spent the whole time laughing, dude. But, like, no, not for nothing, but I went back and listened to some older shit that we did not long ago, and we were talking about Hamlet. You're like, I'm not getting into this with you, dude. I'm like, I know Hamlet. You're like, yeah, Hamlet, he's a good dude.
Good dude. I like that dude.
I could not stop laughing.
Danish dude. Yeah, it's the Charlotte segment. I think I agree.
I didn't read your article. Did you say what you thought about it, or did you just? It was.
I did. I mostly I editorialized a little. I thought. See, I feel bad because I have defended Charlotte as a promo and as a character to some people, and I don't feel that she really vindicated me with that promo. I don't know. I wrote it up, and I mostly just laid out what happened because I do think that's the good thing. What I'm trying to focus on is that Rick got kicked to the curb, and that's good in the long run.
Rick is gone. In
the short term, the delivery wasn't great, and that's mostly it. I am tired of there was definitely a theme to all of Monday night, like the family melodrama. AJ broke up with the club, and this happened, and it's a lot of soap operatics, and then we're going to get more McMahon stuff soon. We'll talk about that in a second, probably. So I'm not crazy about the content of it, but I'm not furious about it either. I think that's what else how else are you going to have a daughter fire her father as her manager? You're going to bring up family shit. So that made sense. I thought that was good. She's got to learn, one, to ignore the crowd, because that really it throws her off, and it throws off the delivery. Like, don't stop to acknowledge them 3 times. First of all, because that encourages them. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And second of all, I get what she was going to lay this emotional bombshell on them, and she didn't want people wutting her while they did it. But the way to do that is to just keep going, and then they'll stop. Not bring it up 4 times. And she doesn't change her delivery. So there's lines that are supposed to be like, pow! Like the one about how, towards the end, I thought it was a great line about, you can watch me on TV just like I had to watch you when I was growing up. But she says it the exact same way she said everything else. So it's like, oh, how do I, if you're not paying close attention like we are, it all just sounds like 5 minutes of the same thing with maybe some crying in there. And
she just raises her voice is what happens. She just, like, her voice goes
a little pitch. Yeah.
And then, like, if you're going to acknowledge the what chants, you have to shut them down, and you're not shutting them down by being like, excuse me, I'm trying to have a moment with my father right now. Like you said, that's just going to make people want to get even further into it. You got to go full Undertaker, like, say what if you kiss your sister?
Yeah.
And then they say what? And you're like, yeah, that's what I thought, you fucking incestuals. That's definitely not a word.
And Shane's backstage going, what?
And Vincent definitely just got out of the limo.
Mm-hmm.
No, but dude, it was like I put on Twitter, it made me doubt my own understanding of human emotion. Because, dude, it really was the most up and down. Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, this is savage. And, like, maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the very next second, it was like, oh, wow, this is really awkward and the biggest train wreck that's ever happened on Raw. Like, she at one point was faking tears because she was actually starting to cry. Like, she saw him reacting to her like he was playing his part, right? Like, my daughter is fucking cutting this big promo on me. She doesn't need me anymore, and she's getting rid of me, and I'm sad about it, so I'm going to cry, which isn't hard for a Flair to do.
No.
And so she sees this, and she's supposed to be this vicious fucking heel who's like, fuck you, I used you up, and now I got Dana, and you can get the fuck out of here. But she sees him, starts to cry, and she starts crying.
Yep.
So she's got to cover for it by faking tears, like, oh, are you sad? Oh, my God. Are you sad, Dad? It's like, I know you're really crying, Charlotte. And then she's got to compose herself. And you can see all that happening as it's happening. And you can't help but laugh at it. Like, it's powerful because the emotion, it felt like a shoot.
Yeah.
Because she did draw on real life shit where it's like, dude, I grew up and you were never around. You were wrestling, traveling the country, chasing tail, being the fucking limousine riding, jet flying, fucking kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing son of a gun. And now I get it because I'm champ and I understand. And now you can fuck off and you can go watch me on TV. That's how you get to see me now. Like you said, that's powerful, emotional, fucking really good shit. But the way shit was delivered with the crowd wanting her, and she's like crying, not crying, and like she's slipping on her lines and shit because she was trying to address the crowd. And you know what? It's like,
seriously, guys, stop it.
She might as well stop and be like, guys, seriously, you're messing me up. I can't remember my fucking lines. So yeah, but I thought it was really good, but also terrible. Like it was a great promo and one of the worst promos I've ever seen. It's like all those things in one, and I don't know how she pulls that off.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But again, celebration for the fact that Ric Flair is gone.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks like he really, Arn gave him a hug, and then he went and got drunk and was tweeting about the Cavs game. So he's gone.
That's the new age of, he's immediately like, go Cavs, huh? Well, you got over that pretty quick.
Well, and I thought about it. I saw his tweet on that, and I'm like, well, this was taped. And I'm like, no, actually, it's not taped. This is live. This motherfucker just filmed the scene where he was crying.
He's backstage.
And now he's backstage tweeting about the basketball game.
He got backstage. Arn's like, you all right? Yeah. And then the very next step was, hey, has anybody got the Cavs score? Does anybody know who's winning the Cavs game? How's LeBron doing?
Is he a LeBron fan? Is that it? Isn't he supposed to be a...
Yeah, him and LeBron have met, and LeBron did that whole big thing where he's like, Ric Flair invented swag.
Oh, that's right.
If I knew what swag was, I'd comment on that.
I don't know. Yeah, even if you know what it is, somebody's going to tell you you're using it wrong. So.
Yeah, I'm a trap queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fetty Wap told me that.
All right. Good talk.
Is that right? I feel like
does Trap Queens come from Fetty? I don't know if they Trap Queens just
confetti.
Yeah.
What does confetti have to do with this?
I said all right. All right, Becky Lynch.
No, it's not Becky. That's lame white guy. And old too. I had a birthday recently and I feel really old these days.
Don't talk to me about that.
I'm not going into this with you, man.
Exactly.
Good dude.
Good dude. I like that Hamlet.
Oh, man. So, Charlotte, what are you doing?
I'm having a sip of here's the deal. I'm going to let everybody know. First of all, I'm tired. I've had about 6 hours of sleep in between a lot of crying relatives for the last 2 days. Second of all, I wasn't planning on this. Is not only does Geno not know I was at work on Monday, but I told him I'd be back today, and he got up this morning. He's like, Sean, you're back. Are you here all day? I'm like, yes, motherfucker, I'm here all day. And then he's like, let's do a podcast. So I had to go. I hadn't had a shower, so anybody who's seen the Maria Kanellis interview knows what happens when I don't have a shower. So instead of taking a shower, I just dumped a bucket of water on my head like I'm fucking Seth Rollins in gorilla position. And I usually like to have some coffee and some water, as long-time #CSL watchers know. I didn't have time for that, so I had to double up and go with the Diet Coke in the giant thing, and here we are.
And that's so. Occasionally, it looks as though when you put it between
sucking my own dick.
When you put it between your legs, you.
I'm Shawn Michaels. When did he do that? What was the occasion of that?
What? He was healing it up to the crowd, and he was like, he even cupped the balls.
I know he did.
Yeah. He's very good at that. And
allegedly, what he used to do for Vince, right?
Oh, geez,
I said allegedly.
We've gotten way off the rails.
I said with all due respect.
Cage-Side Live, where we talk about whether Vince McMahon and Shawn may or may not have had a gay relationship with each other.
What is funny is that you earlier in the show said that you were getting rid of me because I'm not gay enough. Here I am sucking my own dick and talking about Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon's relationship.
we are too big of a site. How do we get away with this? How are there not more people hitting us up going, you guys are awful. You're disgusting people. Like, what are you doing talking about this stuff?
Nobody watches this
Nobody
stuff, man.
Yep, there's 5,000 viewers.
If Megan Smith isn't on, then nobody's watching.
Yeah, no shit, right? I bring Megan on and everyone's just like, oh my God, greatest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which that makes me feel bad too in a way, because it's like, we have another show, you assholes. This is the first time ever. Whatever. Now we're mad at fucking. We're mad.
I know, fucking viewers.
Fucking shit.
So here, all right. So so Rick's gone? You think Rick's just gone, or do you think like he? I mean, because here's the thing: they could fuck it all up and use this as the way to get like Paige to turn babyface and have her bring. Oh, is she going heel?
She's babyface right now.
Oh, but I thought, don't they want to have her feud with Charlotte over Alberto Del Pino?
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about what you said a minute ago. That what must people think about what it's like to work at Cage Side when you're like, you told me you'd be back, and I'm like, Sean, you're back today. They're like, what is the Cage Side office is actually like? Oh,
it's anarchy. We make fun of WWE, and we're even more dysfunctional.
We are as dysfunctional as it gets.
We had Canaanite on a release list, and then we found out that his parents were sick, and that's not true at all. I don't know what
it's a vicious lie I just told just now.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I don't care about Ric Flair. He's gone. I'm glad he's gone. Who gives a shit that it's whatever? He's done, and he needed to be done, and Charlotte can do her own thing. You know what's if you're Charlotte, right? Do you feel kind of bad? If they trust you so little, they keep giving you a heater.
Yeah.
You just refuse to let you be on your own. Rick can go now because Dana's here. Also, poor Emma, who's on Twitter, like, putting over her boyfriend and support groups and shit because she's so fucked up, apparently. And there's rumors that she'll be out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
And worst timing. Live SmackDown and brand split. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
But, man, like... Here's Charlotte, excuse me. Here's Charlotte. And she's improved. Like, I don't want to just bag on her she's awful. She's not. I mean, there's issues with things. There's issues with everybody. Yep. There's issues with Roman Reigns, who I've come around on completely. It is booking to strengths, though, and I guess they think that's how you do that.
It's weird to me, Dana as her security blanket or whatever you want to call it. I guess she's a heater, but Charlotte doesn't seem like the kind of character who needs a heater. She's taller than Dana.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
she's supposed to be genetically superior. Dana is a great character, but she's not a great wrestler, and she's
built like a brick shithouse.
She's never been asked to carry like a 5-minute promo or something. So if you see Charlotte's two weaknesses which I don't know, whatever you see her weaknesses as, I don't know where Dana fills in the gaps.
I think maybe it's more behind the scenes also. Like it's when you flesh it out as far as you look at the storylines on screen and you have you're looking at it like, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense. And in a lot of ways it doesn't. But when you, look at everything behind it and you go, okay, if you're them, Dana works best as a supplementary act.
Mm-hmm.
Supporting cast. She's not the lead. She's the supporting cast. So she needs to be with someone. She was going to be with Emma. Emma's gone. We're not going to send her back to NXT. That would be death for her career. Also, they like her. They think she's
right. Vince is big on her.
Is good.
Yeah.
If she's used right, same thing with Charlotte. If Charlotte's in the right position and if Dana's in the right position, okay, so we have those two situations. Okay, maybe we can find something. Also, we have a situation with Ric Flair who, well, he's good and it's cool to have him around and on TV and acts as, he's useful for storylines. He's also the kind of guy who is going to end up on TMZ, people thinking he's drunk in an airport, and we're going to get bad press. So it's, okay, put all those three things together, what do you end up with? Let's just put Dana with Charlotte and get Rick off TV. We'll worry about the rest of it later. We'll explain the rest of it later, right? And there's Dana doing the strut, and she's just... her character work is really good, so I feel like they think we can just have our cake and eat it too.
Well, the other problem is there aren't any other women that are healthy that they're. I mean, right? I mean, I don't. How are they going to turn
Sasha Banks is a walking Band-Aid.
I mean, yeah. And the rumor is that we're hoping Sasha will be back for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
in time to build a feud for SummerSlam. I don't know how you turn Paige heel because you know who's your baby faces. Natty? We're just going to Natty forever?
Becky?
But we just did a whole program with Becky, so Becky's going to go right back into the title. Why are we booking the women's division like there's only 3 of them?
Who else is there?
Or 4?
Lana's doing house shows, but she's heel. Naomi's hurt. She's hoping to get cleared and come back.
Well, Naomi's supposed to be close. I don't know. What's wrong with Alicia Fox?
Heel, also not a good character. Just not.
I mean, the girl can work though when given. I mean, she had a nice run as the number 1 contender opposite Paige. She did some good work down in NXT. I mean, the crazy character was all right. They just didn't ever add anything else to it. It was just, oh, she's crazy. It was like a less layered Dean Ambrose. I mean, you could do,
and that's hard to do, an even less layered.
Exactly. But that's what she was. I mean, she was just flat out crazy. There wasn't even any like crazy like a Fox, even though that would be work right in. See there.
You'd think it would work right in, and it didn't.
Yep. No.
What's funny about it is we talk about the women's division, the Divas Revolution, and thank God we got away from that. But you know where it all stands and everything they're trying to represent with forward progress and stuff. We look at the roster. Fuck, what do they have? It feels like they don't have the right roster. We know they do, but everything got hit hard. Tamina got hurt. Naomi got hurt. Sasha got hurt. Brie retired. Nikki got hurt, and we don't know if she's going to be able to come back. Even Becky was hurt for a brief time there. She's still doing her thing. Emma just went down when they called up Dana, and then they had to reshuffle and figure out what the hell they're doing with Dana. Natty is clearly just a supporting act here to get Charlotte over. She did that. They're going to have to move away from that now, I guess. Into what? I don't know. Because, like you said, who's left? Foxy, but she hasn't even been on TV, so you're going to just reintroduce her in a title program? That's the other problem with never giving anybody time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you never make it – there's never a point where it feels like you can just interchange these guys. Like Kevin Owens is on TV every week, so if you need him to just plug in as a next title challenger in the event that a Seth Rollins gets injured again, you can do that because he's been around. He's been in the Intercontinental title picture, all these things. You can't do that with the women's division because no one's ever on fucking TV. It's like, even you talk about Sasha Banks, they got big plans for her. How can you have such huge plans for her? She's never on fucking TV. It's like, well, actually, she's got a knee and head injury. And it's like, oh, well, what's the truth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you say one thing here and then one thing here, and how am I supposed to know better either which way? So it's like, it's one or it's the other. It can't be both. Or maybe it can be, I guess. But either way, you're not the most overact who has big plans if you're not on TV.
I mean, you're right. I mean, because another person that they've got that is not a good wrestler but is a very good character and has done the, make lemonade out of lemons shit a bunch of times now is Summer Rae.
Summer, for sure.
You've got, but this is a frustration that I and a bunch of people have with NXT, too, is that they've got Peyton Royce. We don't know what the hell happened to Billie Kay. I guess she's hurt because she hasn't even been doing house shows. But they've signed Nikki Storm. They've got Athena down there. They've got a pretty good crop of women that they haven't even used on television. But at the same time, they're refusing to call up Bayley, and Asuka's really ready too. So you could shift you could push the whole system up one level, and they're just not doing it. They seem content, like you said, to just rotate these 3 or 4 women and.
The thing about
I don't understand why.
The thing about that is that because, like we talked about, they were going to run into issues as far as, well, you want it to be a developmental brand parked at Full Sail in Winter Park, Florida. Okay, that sounds fine. And then you talk about we're going to tour and we're going to make it a bigger thing. Well, when you do that, then you have to worry about things like the house.
Yeah.
And based on what the numbers show, read the Observer or whatever, and here Meltzer's like, well, here's the thing. Bayley can be the difference between a house of 400 people and a house of 2,000 people.
Yep.
And that is a very big deal.
I get Bayley is in a tough spot because she is a unique performer. I mean, I don't whether or not. I mean, they could still fuck her up on the main roster. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Vince's vision of women's wrestling, but at least the way she's used in NXT, she's not replaceable. You can't just plug Carmella into her spot because she's not Bayley. There's no one you can plug into her spot because she's uniquely over because of who she is.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. But you could promote Asuka. Asuka was ready 2 months after she showed up down there.
Yeah.
They could move things along. Bayley's a unique problem, but it's a good problem to have too. But there's other things they could do to move it along, and you've got but to do any of these things on the main roster, you've got to give more than one. There was no women's match on Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just this segment that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give them multiple segments. You've got to have more than one story going. It seemed like there's been a couple times where we thought there was going to be more than one angle, but nothing really happened.
Yeah, Summer and Sasha were building their thing, but apparently, again, Sasha got hurt, and then Becky and Emma were doing their thing, and Emma got hurt. So it's like part of it's just bad timing.
Yeah, but they were already hemming and hawing on Emma and Becky. We all thought Emma and Becky was going to be a second pay-per-view match, and they didn't even get on the pre-show before Emma got hurt.
Well, maybe she was already hurt. Maybe there's more to that, but either which way. And then,
like you said, we'll never know that. But
yeah, and then you do the shit where you're like, okay, what about call up Asuka, call up Bayley? Well, again, so it's the touring thing, but part of what that is to keep those people strong, to continue to draw houses like we know they're able. They have to be on TV.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, but that's what I get to. You've got to start transitioning that at some point. I mean, it's maddening that they haven't debuted somebody like Athena on television yet, because she's worked some matches at tapings and they've not shown them. So how are you going to get her? How are you going to get her to be? She is somebody who I think would sell another 500 tickets if they built her character up right with some of the moves she can hit. She's an indie ticket selling machine.
Sure.
But you got to put her on TV so more people than just like me and the 4 other marks that watch Shimmer know who the fuck she is.
And that's part of what we talk about here as far as, well, you got to keep Bayley strong, got to keep Finn strong, Samoa Joe, we got to keep American Alpha, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do all these things. All these people need TV time. All these people need to be there to be kept strong, to be in a situation where they can continue to draw these houses while also exposing the smaller people to something bigger. But how do you do that when you only have an hour-long show each week? How do you get Athena on TV while also servicing everything else? Because you are a touring brand now. You are, like you said, they do the home tour, the people who just hang out in Florida, and then the people who do the tour elsewhere. They send them to Spokane and Portland and all these places, whatever. So it's a question of, they could just call people up. Yeah, but, they're not comfortable at this point while trying to do that with relying on Billy Kay or Peyton Royce or, whoever these people are. Who, if you're like me and don't watch NXT every week, then you don't really know these people.
Well, you don't know Billy. I mean, so far you only know them as jobbers. So, I mean, they're not. They need to start changing that. And I don't know. It's not like we've been getting hour-long gangbuster shows on NXT for a while. I mean, they've been kind of cruising along. So I don't know. I mean, I give them. It's still an entertaining show, and they've got some time to figure it out. I think this is all a work in progress. They're figuring it out as they go. But they're not there yet. They could definitely improve some stuff.
This is a good segue into the big news that happened today.
Yep.
And the issues with that. So, quick breakdown, because I still haven't even read the articles. I just saw the tweets and the headlines. Tell us what happened.
So this morning I woke up and fucking Variety had run the story that starting on, I think it's July 19th. Is that right?
July 19th.
July 19th, SmackDown is going to move to Tuesdays full time and be live. So that's one part that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time.
Awesome. Great news.
They're going to do it. They're not going to switch they're going to keep their existing touring schedule, so they're not going to switch it up so that they'll do it live on Thursdays. They're going to move it to Tuesdays, 8 to 10 Eastern, live SmackDown. And buried sort of under that was this, the thing that, we're doing this because we've got big names like John Cena and Seth Rollins coming back. And to build up to it, we're going to do a draft and assign talent to the individual shows. So that's, they didn't use the term brand split in that initial announcement, but that's what that means.
They said draft.
Yes, they said draft, and I think later on they came out and actually just said brand split. I haven't. I'd have to reread the exact press release. But then they released this video with Stephanie and Shane where they're bickering about who should run SmackDown. So it's definitely, we're getting back into the two competing brands under the one main roster umbrella again. Just coming, I guess, it's the go-home show for Battleground, which is interesting, the name of the pay-per-view that comes right after SmackDown debuts live.
Man, all those.
They haven't said when they're doing the draft yet, so there's a lot of details we don't know. Things we don't know is when the draft happens, if they're gonna, resplit the world title. Are women going to be on one show or the other? Or are they going to be on both? Our tag teams
Money in
going
the
to be on
Bank
one show.
matches?
We don't know.
Details to work out here.
And Money in the Bank is coming right up, so they'll have to start figuring that stuff out.
It's June 19th, I want to say.
So that's what we know. From the business side, Vince is in there talking about this is like, for them, this is a little bit of their validation of don't worry about ratings, because they're basically saying, we are valuable enough and live television is valuable enough that even though our ratings aren't what they used to be, we're still one of the hottest things out there. And that's why USA is going to do this with us. So I think you're caught up.
So this is the worst idea I've ever heard. I literally couldn't be any unhappier with the decision. Because we have the roster to support this. We're getting all these big stars back. But do you? Why'd you have to cut Sandow? If this is where you're going, you want to clear room out to do a brand split, you'd think he'd be more valuable then. You'd think they wouldn't need to be cutting all these people, especially a guy like that. And it just proves they didn't really have anything for him. They didn't think that he was going to be anything, and that's how they felt fine. But what the fucking world? I think it's a response in part 2 ratings, the low ratings. The draft was always a hit, and I'm already excited for it, like a mark that I am, because as the NFL knows, you can monetize the shit out of a draft because people really care. And this is even better because it's like taking the NFL and like everyone gets to draft existing players. And that's always a fun debate to have. Like, if you could have anybody you wanted right now, who do you pick? And Aaron Rodgers, right? Or whatever. That's your number one pick. So we'll do that kind of fun stuff too. And that's a question that it's worth. Who do you pick?
They probably haven't happened in your lifetime because you're 2 years old or whatever. But they used to. This is like, I think hockey's getting ready to do another one when they do the expansion drafts. Back when they brought the Panthers into the
I remember that.
Yeah. So.
The expansion draft, and everyone had to make players available, and they just made a bunch of chodes available, and they ended up with garbage teams.
Some guy,
but the Panthers made the playoffs within a couple of years, and the Jaguars made the championship game.
Yep.
So,
because they got Mark Brunell anyway.
Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith, and they had really good teams back then. Either way, cast-offs that had the potential to be stars but couldn't. That's a good way to. That's actually a good point, because those guys were. Jimmy Smith was a cast-off who just couldn't find his footing. And ended up being one of the best receivers in the history of the NFL. Well, do we have guys who are potential stars who just haven't been able to find their footing, and they need the time and place and the ability to do so on a show where they'll get more time? Do we have that? I don't know. Is that a guy like Tyler Breeze? I don't know. Is that a Fandango? I don't know. Is that a lower card guy who, hey, you're going to get a shot? A Zack Ryder, someone from NXT even who's going to come up and get more of a chance. Is this going to give more opportunity to people? Is Raw going to stay 3 hours and SmackDown's 2 hours? So it's like you get, how the hell are you going to fill a 3-hour show on Raw if you're splitting the brand? You know what I mean? Are we going to have fucking half-hour matches?
SmackDown recaps.
They
probably will.
Why did you do that with your face?
Because it's so exciting to me. Because they probably will do that for a while to drive people to SmackDown on Tuesday nights. They're probably going to say, "This is what you're missing."
And didn't it say? I just am skimming and seeing tweets something about like it's going to look different. It's going to be more important.
Well, they are supposed to. I don't know. I don't think they specifically said look, but.
Because it used to. At one point, it was the bigger show. It was Brock and Undertaker, and it had the world title. Or the WWE title.
Right. They are promising that it is going to have its own unique writers, production team, and roster. So it's not just – they're not going to draft the writers. But
it's the old NXT writer running that show, right? The one hitting on all the developmental divas, apparently? As Cody says?
Yep. So that's that's what they're saying, is that it's going to – see – to my way of thinking, it could be. It's the same way I looked at the brand split last time.
Sucked.
It could be, it could be good if they did it right. And I think there are guys. I think Breeze. I think Baron, like a guy like Baron Corbin, is a guy that could really shine. I think it could also take some guys that I think are sort of stuck in the upper mid card without a brand split, like a Sami Zayn, a Kevin Owens, a Cesaro, a Miz even, that maybe they could break out if they were allowed to run take the top angle instead of the third from the top angle.
Here's my thought. Go ahead.
But it's sort of like my thoughts on the women's revolution is I have zero confidence in WWE to be able to stick with this. There's no idea that, they have not said they're going to do 2 champions, so it might just be Roman on both shows. He might have 2 feuds going at once now. We don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what they always did with the brand split is it was a brand split. There was like 4 months where they did the separate pay-per-views. I guess it was more like a year probably. But then they realized that the numbers went down for those and ratings weren't great, so they started to play with the formula and people floated from place to place. And by the time it was done, it really didn't matter. There was a brand split in name only.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to do from the jump this time. I kind of feel like
they wanted both to be hot as hell, like Nitro and Raw at their peak, and one was always better than the other, and then you create a scenario where one ends up looking like superior to the other because that's just how it works, and they can't stick with that, and then so the idea is then to use that as competition internally to make it like, okay, the SmackDown people need to make it as big as Raw is and make that, that kind of, it's a motivational tactic, right? Here's the only way this thing can work is if you don't pussyfoot like that and you don't take Reigns and put him on SmackDown. Reigns is a Raw guy. And I don't even think Raw versus SmackDown, I don't think it works if you keep it named SmackDown even. I think you need to change the name.
I've read that a couple of places. I don't think that's going to happen. But
I don't think it will either, but what you need to do is it needs to be a Nitro versus Raw. Like, you don't have to use Nitro, but I'm just saying it has to look completely different. It has to feel completely different. It has to exist in its own universe and world as though it is an independent promotion from everything else they do. It can't be like they had before where it's Raw and it's SmackDown, but it's still WWE. It needs to be like it's WWE and then there's this other group, and they just happen to have the Tuesday show.
Yep.
That's the only way you can make something like this work, because you have to commit full on, because when you don't, the fans just see right through that. And they see what you're trying to do. They see that you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. They see that you're just trying to manipulate it to twist it up and make us feel like there's that when there's not that. And it's, consumers don't like being lied to. Consumers don't like, in this scenario, they lie to us every day and we accept that, but we'll only accept it to a point where it's just, at some point, you're just insulting us.
Right. You said it before. I forget it might have been about the Styles Reigns thing. I don't remember, but you said, that, shit just needs to matter. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And I already feel like this. It already kind of feels like lip service, and that maybe I'm just jaded and I will give it a chance, but I don't know. The other thing that's very frustrating to me, I made jokes about it in the post I wrote up about it, but it is frustrating, is that I feel like this is going to be another vehicle for more McMahon stuff, which I am just
already is, right? Shane,
yeah,
fighting.
They're joking, but this has been the rumor since Shane came back, right? So, and Triple H is tweeting about it. He might stick his head into it somewhere. Rollins is back now. Yeah.
Who's your pick? You got the number 1 pick, Raw. Who are you picking?
For Raw? What I would do, I would send Cena to SmackDown. I would put him in the old Taker role of he's the draw, the veteran that goes and builds, that SmackDown rallies around.
And it's the same network now, so it's not even not on the same network.
Yep.
It's a Tuesday thing. On Monday and Tuesday, you've got those locked. There's no reason you can't make those equally big.
Yep. I would play. I would build
SmackDown.
I'd build Raw around Roman, and I'd put Cena on SmackDown. Why? It's too. At this point, it's starting to work.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. I don't see the benefit of backtracking now. So from where we are now, yeah, you're invested in him. He's over with some people.
He's over with a few people. Whatever. I guess go with it.
I feel like you said. He's a very talented performer. He's just not my cup of tea. He's never going to be my favorite guy. He never was going to be my favorite guy. So, but that's fine. I don't need to have my favorite guy on the top. So,
I'm in love with him after the Styles program. He's it. He is it. I feel like I used to in the Shield days, where it was like, that's the guy that I'd push. And I used to say that. Dean's got what he's got, and Seth's got what he's got, but Roman's got it. And I feel like that's come across now, and I feel like they've found a way to make that what it is now. The problem, as I see it again, is I just don't think they have enough at the top to make this work. They think they do, but Bray Wyatt is not a top star. Bray Wyatt's a mid-carder.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Bray Wyatt
is the case.
He could be a top star.
He could be, but he's not. That's what and that's what we talk about. Athena could be a top star, but they never let him. They never get to that point.
Well, but that's the chicken and the. I mean, I don't see. That's not my thing. In a perfect world where they let Bray be the top face or whatever, the top smart face that chases Roman or something, I think he could be. But I don't know if they will.
No,
I mean, if they stick to this at all, then maybe it sort of forces their hand, and some of that happens. But I don't know.
If they stick to this and they do this right, it will absolutely force their hand. Who the fuck's going to feud with who? You have no choice at that point, because if you put, let's say all the members of the Shield stay on Raw, and then SmackDown gets like what? Cena, Owens, Zayn.
You got to send Zayn,
Cesaro, maybe, whatever, and then as you do a big split that way, you end up looking at it and you go, well, really, there's only a couple of guys right now who are main event dudes, so you only have so much time to use those guys as main event dudes. That forces their hand to go, we got to promote somebody. We got to build somebody up. How do we do that? And then they no longer have a choice. And guys like Big Cass get their opportunity, which, I mean, he should be champ anyway. But
they're on the clock as far as you're concerned.
Well,
so.
I'll be damned, dude. Like, Enzo's back now, which it's great to see Cocaine out there running around. But Cass is the dude, man. He really is. He's it. So yeah, I don't have any confidence that they're going to stick with it. Like you said, I have even less confidence that they know how to do this. I've seen them try it and fail miserably and run their business into the ground. But the drafts are fun.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, I think they should, bring back use the Cruiserweight Classic as a way to sign 10 of those guys and bring them back as a division on SmackDown. Do things that make it. I would put the women on one show or the other. Mm-hmm. I would consider. I mean, the tag teams, I guess, is a little trickier because you're always going to want to have to be able to do like singles guys into tag teams. But man, it was not good when they split the tag belts. So I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and the belt situation, it's going to get so watered down again if they switch things around. I don't think they need to. The one show gets the U.S., one gets the Intercontinental, and maybe the world champ switches back and forth. I don't know.
I see arguments both ways. Kyle Decker and I were talking about it in the offices this morning. He's not in favor of splitting it because he feels like it sort of dilutes it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't mind having a world title and a WWE title. Again, if it was done right and they really built up to those things, and then, every few years you could do a champ versus champ thing that would feel like fucking electric for Mania.
And they're going to do a month in, they're going to have someone from SmackDown show up on Raw and be like, oh my God, that's a SmackDown superstar.
It's a SmackDown guy. Yeah.
And it's like it's supposed to be some big thing, and it's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. He's got on a blue T-shirt. Holy shit!
Yeah, wait, our colors are red. He's a traitor. Like, I mean, come on. It's just so contrived and clearly, And I mean, make the attempts.
It's always going to be, yeah. But I mean, it would be I'd be a lot more invested in it if you. And that's another reason why I sort of like Cena as the SmackDown guy, because I feel like, for good or bad, he's the kind of guy who could deliver that fucking football coach rah-rah speech about how we're going to go out there and prove we're better than those guys, and you'd buy into it. I'd buy into that a lot more than all of a sudden I'm supposed to care whether Shane gets the upper hand on Stephanie. Yeah, I don't care.
I think you need to kick it off, too. Like, if you're going – how are they going to get to this? How are they going to address that this is the case? And I think the first step is the most important as far as I think what they should do is you need a story that creates this split.
Well, that's the problem is this is the most reality era thing ever. They've come right out and just said we're going to do it.
Well, what I mean when I say that is not just Vince going, okay, Shane, you get SmackDown, Stephanie, you get Raw, kill each other, let's see who does better ratings or something like that. I think it'd be better if they just had something like, you know, or even they made a scenario where it was like, you know, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to send you to do it, you know, for whatever, and then that person's really bitter for it or something like that, you know, like I'm pissed off. And then the stars, the people like a Cena who does that promo or delivers the promo where it's like, I don't want to be here. This is bullshit. Or something like that, and then maybe you build off of that. Well, I guess you wouldn't want to say that because then it makes your show look bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just some sort of story that really.
I mean, like you said, I mean, I
don't
think
know how to get there.
Well, I think they've already fucked up. Honestly, I mean, because you've already just having it be, here's what we're gonna do, and here's Shane and Stephanie being cutesy about it, and I mean, are you gonna buy any kayfabe justification now when you've seen all this stuff? Or are you just gonna roll your eyes and go?
Yeah, and then now.
I mean, we talked about having it be a separate universe where everything mattered, and they've already kicked it off by saying it's all the same universe and it doesn't really matter.
Right, and then what happens when you do the draft and a dude goes to SmackDown and he's like, is he happy about it? Why is he happy about that? Why is this guy happy to still be on Raw? Like, there are going to be so many things that come with this that they don't address that are going to.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to fucking draft Bubba Ray Dudley to SmackDown and keep Devon on Raw and pretend that we care.
And act like it's
which is what they did last time.
And you know what it ended up happening? They left the company. They fucking died a horrible death. Like, I think Devon, I guess we got Deacon Batista.
We got Deacon Batista out of it, and we got the germ of the Bully Ray character out of it when Bubba finally got to work on his own. But he made it work somewhere else, yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So there's but there was cool stuff that came out of that. Like Matt Hardy's V1 character was good for a while there, and
like I said at the beginning, it was great. I mean, when Heyman was really running SmackDown as behind the scenes as a different show, and we had the SmackDown 6 stuff, sitting
in on Raw meetings through conference calls when he's not supposed to get what they're doing, and like actually treating it like a rivalry. That's cool and all, but I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to commit. I don't think they're going to give us the stories we need to get. Like, or I guess the Cena rah-rah speech does sound like an appealing thing. Like,
I mean, I think if you really wanted to do it, you would have held off on this stuff. It would have been like a surprise that happened next week on Raw, where you introduce, I don't know, Canyon Seaman or whatever the fuck, character we don't really know comes in, and it's cheesy, but have him be the network guy who says we're doing this for ratings, but we need it to be. I don't know. I mean, do something. It's probably going to be dumb, but do some fucking thing other than we're doing it.
that man's last name is Seaman.
I just wanted to say Canyon Seaman on the air. That is the most pro wrestling made up name ever, and I guess it's not made up. I guess
it's a shoot name, and it's like the parents were like, "Our last name's Seaman. What should we name him? Let's fucking name him Canyon." Like Dad was just like, how about Canyon and how do you get to that? You like that? What did that conversation look like? Can we name him Canyon? Oh, honey, just for you, we'll do that. Like, I get to name the other kids though. Like, does he have brothers and sisters? And what are their names? Allie, Ditch,
Tasty,
Vanilla, Flavor,
Vanilla. Tasty Seaman. This is my sister.
Oh, I didn't even fucking put that together. You bastard.
This is my sister, Cinnamon Seaman.
Tasty Seaman.
Yep.
I always end up back with some sort of dick thing, and it's bad.
Well, we're talking about fucking wrestling. Of course we do.
That's true, I guess. If you can't talk about wrestling for that long without dick coming into play.
Yeah, eventually you're going to make some juvenile jokes.
You happy to see Seth back?
What?
You happy to see Seth back?
I guess.
We're on a first name basis now, Seth.
Oh, that's nice.
He's not with Zara anymore after I got her fired, I guess.
That's true, you bastard. I don't
Laster McMassive or whoever the fuck getting mad at us. You should be promoting it.
You personally ruined her career. I didn't make her a fucking Nazi.
Yeah. Hey, dickhead McShitbag. Why don't you shut the fuck up about it? Oh.
And am I happy to see? I don't know. I mean, it all depends on the story. I
Dude, wait.
What?
I just realized the brand split means Brong Strongman is going to run wild on one of these fucking shows.
Someday there's going to be a big Cass versus Big Ass McStrongman feud, and you are going to just explode into
fucking head's going to explode.
You're going to turn into a canyon of semen.
I'm hard thinking about it.
I bet you are.
That sounds lovely.
Fucking steel I don't know. Yeah.
Don't finish that thought. So Seth is back. You don't care. Neither do I.
I really don't. I don't know. Like, I was trying to get into the argument people were having yesterday about whether or not he should be a heel or they should have let him be a face, and I don't even care about that.
Went off. Yeah. They fucked this up. They always fuck this up. They had a fucking baby face and they could use. That's how Biden talks it, by the way. They had a baby face they could use, and now he's healing him with a promo. And
that is not. Neither of us know what Biden sounds like.
Never talked to him, seen him, don't know anything about him.
No. Sorry.
Videns, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't have. I think it's the right move. They need heels at the top. I mean, you're not going to bring back as a big baby face to work with Roman. They just did the babyface program, and whether you like it or not, they push Roman as a babyface. The reactions don't matter. I think they get the reactions they get in part because they push him as a babyface, and I think it's actually counterproductive for the people who don't like him to continue to act this way because it makes for great atmospheres. I really like the atmosphere around Roman Reigns because there is that divisive sort of thing, and normally I'd think it's a bad thing, but with him it's like everyone just feels so strongly in some way that I really appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, Vince, sure.
We never felt that with Rollins, you know, so it's like I don't care that he's a heel versus a babyface because he's baby and I'll cheer him for a while, I guess, or I'll feel cool, you know, some flippy shit, but
I mean, I do feel like part of the problem with Seth is that they're always working to not. It's sort of the same argument that we have with Roman, and no, they're never turning him heel, so don't worry about it, or at least not for the next 20 years. But it is they do. They insist on this is what we're going to do, even if it takes way too much work and it's not really what you want. It's weird. Like, I mean, people want to cheer Rollins and they want to boo Reigns. Nope. We're not doing that.
It depends on the people that when you say stuff like that. Because
a lot of, well, the people who.
What sounds like the majority on TV.
Who doesn't want to cheer Rollins, though? I mean, if you presented this, the good looking, but that's because I mean.
Because I nut?
Whatever. Because he's a good looking dude that does flippy shit. People want to cheer that dude. I
mean, yeah, I suppose, and they did cheer him, but I mean, that's the classic case of everybody who comes back after a long absence, especially for an injury. I mean, Triple H left in 2001, tore his quad, and he was a massive heel in the two-man power trip, and everyone hated his fucking guts, and they'd done the McMahon-Helmsley era, and it was like, if there's anyone who could come back to booze, it's this guy. And he came back to the loudest fucking ovation I've ever heard in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like sustained. Like for 10 minutes, people were nuts in that joint when he showed up. So it's like anyone who gets hurt majorly, I think we're all as fans, I mean, we're human beings and we want these people to be well and be able to do what they like to do and entertain us. And so if someone gets hurt and it's a big injury, we'll cheer you when you come back. It's just kind of how
I think even before that, though, I mean, if you go back and watch the Shield six-mans, the dude that got the big pop, I mean, the people that people popped for was Rollins. I mean, Reigns had it when he did the big power moves, but the splashy spots that people freaked out for were Seth. And that's, God, I mean, that's what I mean.
Those matches with Evolution.
Yep.
Where he was jumping off of shit and like wild brawls that were like, what's going to happen? And then he'd fucking do the big thing and it would turn the momentum in their favor and they'd ultimately win.
I mean, I think he could be Jeff Hardy.
Ooh.
Without the drugs and the weird wanting to be in art school stuff.
And who can actually cut a promo.
Right. I mean, that's what, as somebody who's watched him since he was Tyler Black, that's who I sort of thought we were getting. We were getting a more athletic, better, more stable, Jeff Hardy, not.
When the eyes become clear, the matches will improve. And Seth Rollins is back, rebuild, reclaim.
Why did he say in that promo that the matches would improve?
He did.
Whatever.
He actually said
he admitted everything sucks.
Like, what do you? So I'm having shitty matches, but buy this plastic skeleton for Willow.
Okay. What do you think about Matt Hardy's From Beyond the Grave? Come on, that dude is money. We are getting traffic off crazy fat Matt Hardy.
That's just a crazy.
He is that dude.
What a
crazy fat Matt Hardy is money.
That makes it sound like he suddenly gained a shitload of weight and he's like crazy fat now. Like crazy
comma, fat Matt Hardy, not crazy fat Matt Hardy. He's not just fat. He's crazy fat. He's stupid fat. And shout out to all the people in the world who use stupid as a unit of measurement.
Oh,
but no, you know what? I haven't seen a damn segment of it. I've just seen Decker pile up the traffic. You know, we're talking about like stuff in the offices about like, you know, initiatives and things we can do to improve the site and whatever. And it's like, dude, if you have an idea, some shit, run with it. And the thing his idea was, this Matt Hardy shit's fucking weird as hell. I'm like, write that. If that's a thought you have, write that. People will think that. It was the #1 post for like 2 days. People on Twitter are like, he said like this thing with Matt Hardy is getting really weird, and people are like, getting weird. It's been weird since fucking Matthew all caps Green Grapes pulling fucking pistols out, and like, you remember those videos? I went down a YouTube hole the other day and ended up with videos of Hardy screaming at some dude like, "Did you bring me my grapes?" And the dude hands him fucking red grapes, and he's like, "Do these look green? Green grapes? How dare you?" How did this dude think this would make money? I don't. Then there's another video. He gets out of the shower, and he's got that busted beak. So his nose is crooked and shit. One nostril's not even open, and the camera's like underneath his face, so it just looks weird. He's breathing really heavy, like he's been taking some fucking sedatives. So, you know, what needs to calm me down? Everyone has their vices in life. For me, it's grapes. And then there's green grapes on a bed, and he's like, "This is what I need to go do. I've got stuff to defend myself with." And he pulls the blanket back, and there's a fucking machete on the bed. I'm like, are you drugged out? Like, what have you been taking? Pulls out a pistol. Legit pulls out a pistol with a sight on it. It's like you can see the red dot, and he's fucking pointing it around. I will persevere. The multitudes. And he's eating green. He's eating green grapes the whole time he's doing this. So it's fucking Matt Hardy. Like, and so now it's like, so Decker's like, it's getting weirder with Matt Hardy. And that's like, no, it's not getting weird. It's been weird for about 8 years now. Lita left, and fuck, that dude just completely fell apart. Oh man. Amy Dumont. Blame it on Adam Copeland, I guess.
Man, forget Megan or anybody else. I want a podcast of just you and your one nostril Matt Hardy impersonation. Goes back and forth.
Are you?
Why is that the noise that somebody with a broken nose makes?
I have no idea. And why is he eating green grapes on a bed after he just got out of the shower and there's a pistol and a machete?
Is this from the point? Was this from the period of time where he was like actually faking his own death and shit?
I think this was shortly before he did like a suicide note, and it was like he's like, you know, I'm a pro wrestler, shooting an angle. It's like, dude, Matt, there's no angle here, dude.
Oh, because he wasn't even employed at this point, was he? Wasn't he just like doing shit?
Oh yeah, I think he was. WWE had gotten rid of him. He was like, he put up a video from a hotel in Paris or some shit, and he's like looking at the thing. He's clearly drugged out, and he's looking at he's like, it's not an elevator, it's a lift over here. And then they saw the video, and they're like, we got to let this fucking guy go. He got sent home, and then later on, that's when he did the suicide thing. And I remember back then, I don't think you were staff. I told, we're not covering Matt Hardy anymore. I'm done with it. This is the last straw. Fuck that guy. And then like 2 days later, Keith's like, well, stuff's happened, so maybe can I cover it? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And the band lasted like 2 days.
I mean, that's when like the video, like the two of them in the diner where Jeff's obviously like fucked up and he's ripping on Punk. And
oh yeah, oh, you say you drug free? Well, you know what? I think you take somas to go to sleep, motherfucker. You know something else? I think you're a nerd. Like that. That was Hardy's big fucking salvo. I think you take so much to go to sleep, and I think you're a nerd. And like Punk would watch that and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that." You want to talk about putting people over? I work with fucking Undertaker, brother. You want to shake hands and you want big league me? I think you're a nerd. The Hardys are so fucking weird, dude. Why don't you drop another album from Peroxygen Wire?
I like that your Jeff Hardy sounds like Bill Clinton.
Does it?
I think so. I think that's the same voice.
Top 10 Geno impressions on Cage Side Live.
It's coming. You won't believe number 7.
Yeah. Oh, Nemo. So
my favorite thing about the Matt Hardy thing now is not that he looks like Jimmy Jacobs' drunk uncle. It's that it's that he calls Jeff brother Nero.
He does too.
You should watch a promo. It's pretty stupid, but you would enjoy it. I think.
So that's what his Nero's Jeff's middle name.
The one I watched, the clip I watched from last night's Impact was he was trying to convince Tyrus and Rockstar Spud to take out brother Nero.
So Tyrus made it out of the bathtub with kitchen appliances.
He's following Matt's lead. He's like, this got Matt over. I'm gonna pretend to kill myself on Twitter.
Someone else took the photo is what kills me.
He's not that bright.
He calls someone come here. We're going to the bathroom, and I'm going to fill the bathtub up, and I'm going to sit in it, big-ass Tyrus, and then hand me a toaster, and then take a photo so I can put it up on Twitter. Like, no, what are you doing? And we put it in the Cage Side offices, and Handstock's like, somebody call his mama.
Oh,
God. Oh, somebody calls mama. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's remember back in the day, like he's in there like, she-wop.
It's about to get funky up in this bathtub. You love the Funkasaurus. You were a Funkasaurus mark.
Dude, every week.
You were so into that. That was like just when I got on staff.
Oh, it was so fun, dude. The latest
from
like,
what have I done?
Who is funky.
Yeah. What else you want to talk about?
I don't think we're going to top Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy impressions. I hope people laugh.
Is there anything? I don't know.
Is there anything? Let me pick my teeth.
I'm trying to work on my one nostril.
What's funny is I'll forget how to do that by the next show. Do your Hardy impression.
I think all you have to do is go in the middle of every... Oh, all right. You're not upset about AJ Styles breaking up with people or anything?
Not at all. I love AJ. I think he's great.
What about? Do you think the club has got a big future in front of him without him?
Yep.
When's Finn showing up?
Don't know.